Thank you, Madam President. Allow me at the outset to thank the United Kingdom for a successful presidency. I wish the United States all success in their presidency. Let me thank Secretary General Antonio Guterres for his presence and remarks on the situation in Ukraine. I thank High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, and USG Martin Griffiths for their updates. I also thank Ms. Tatiana Luzan for her insights. Ever since the commencement of the conflict in Ukraine, India has been consistently calling for complete cessation of hostilities and for pursuing the path of dialogue diplomacy as the only way out. However, the conflict has resulted in the loss of lives and countless miseries for its people, especially for women, children, and elderly, with millions becoming homeless and forced to take shelter in neighboring countries. India has strongly condemned killing of civilians in Bucha and supported the call for an independent investigation. We support all efforts to alleviate the suffering of the people of Ukraine. India remains on the side of peace and therefore believes that there will be no winning side in this conflict. And while those impacted by this conflict will continue to suffer, diplomacy will be a lasting casualty. We welcome the visit of the Secretary General to Moscow and Kyiv and his engagement with the leadership of the Russian Federation and Ukraine. We agree that the immediate priority is of evacuation of innocent civilians from areas witnessing intense fighting. We deeply appreciate the efforts of the United Nations in evacuating civilian population from Mariupol. We hope these efforts will extend to other areas as well. The conflict is having destabilizing effect with broader regional and global implications. Oil prices are skyrocketing, and there is shortage of food grains and fertilizers. This has had disproportionate impact on the global south and developing countries. We acknowledge the efforts made by the Secretary General, particularly the findings of Global Crisis Response Group Task Team. We welcome the recommendation for exempting purchases of food for humanitarian assistance by WFP from food export restrictions with immediate effect. It is important that similar such exemptions are provided to all member states and relevant stakeholders who are contributing to this global humanitarian effort. The food security challenges emanating from the conflict require us to respond by going beyond constraints that bind us presently. Energy security is equally serious as a concern and needs to be addressed through cooperative efforts. India has been sending humanitarian supplies to Ukraine and its neighbors. We are also providing more medical supplies to Ukraine. We support calls for guarantees of safe passage to deliver essential humanitarian and medical supplies, including through establishment of humanitarian corridors. We hope the international community will continue to respond positively to the evolving humanitarian requirements. We reiterate the importance of UN guiding principles of humanitarian assistance. Humanitarian action must always be guided by the principles of humanitarian assistance, which is humanity, neutrality, impartiality, and independence. These measures should never be politicized. Let me conclude by reaffirming that the contemporary global order has been built on the UN Charter, international law, and respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of states. I thank you.